Welcome, everybody, to a new series, Energy Shift Ahead. We're on Ep.2. We're going to be talking about Venus and Mars in Aquarius on February 22nd. I wanted to show you this new video. Unfettered. This is our rough draft. And we want to surf those waves of energy. SURF stands for Collective Influence Report and Forecast. The two different series now. The SURF reports every Wednesday, and it gets you prepared for the week ahead, both influence and solution or behaviors. And then these are the ES series, the Energy Shift series, and those will be out normally on Sunday or Monday. And so sort of goes like this. We're looking at one in particular, the ES series. This is ES2. We're going to be talking about Venus conjunct and parallel Mars in Aquarius on the 22nd of February this year, 2024. And in the wee hours of the night. It's a window because these planets are moving fairly in the same pace. So the conjunction lasts for a good amount of time, even though they're fast-moving planets. And as this picture depicts, this is, I like to give out kind of a picture of the energy. And there's a lot of sparks and everything, but we're going to go through these in detail. But this is kind of the picture in mind. And it's based off of this list of influences. And we're going to be talking about those as we look at the chart. And we start with just the numerology of it. 222, February is 2/22. And then, this one says the exact time here is 1:14, but you saw it's a window. And right in the middle of that window is 1:11. So 222, 1:11. This is at Central Standard Time. But anyway, numerology I thought was pretty interesting. And the next is the air dominance, the fixed air dominance. That's the fixed air is Aquarius. We have 4 planets in Aquarius. But this backdrop isn't necessarily commensurate with how many planets are in whatever sign, because we call this sort of the canvas, if you will. And that's fixed air, so it's Aquarius. That's the fixed air. So it just so happens it matches the majority of planets are in Aquarius. But it doesn't always work out that way. But anyway, this dominance of air dominance, which, by the way, was a very short period. Most of our time has been fixed Earth and Taurus-y over the last few, I think, weeks, but months maybe. A lot of Taurusness. But now air and fixed have 2 more days until that gives way when the sun is already out of Aquarius, out of detriment, but into more water as we go along. Actually, these will even out and we'll have no dominance for a while, and then Pisces and water will show up as the dominant force. Okay, where do we begin? We can begin with the sun is no longer in detriment, so the ego now is out of detriment, or less weakened, maybe not strong, but swimming in Pisces waters. This is the dominant single force. But when we've got something like Venus and Mars exactly conjunct, precise and perfected in Aquarius, we've got some sparks flying there. But then when we've got Venus parallel Mars, that's the inclination, when those are in the same bit of sky, now we're looking at even more intensity. It's already intense. Now it's even more intense. In fact, if those, it's too close to the sun probably to see these in the night sky for anywhere, but you would be able to see these together, these bright points of dots in the sky, because they are both in azimuth and in inclination. These two are very powerful on any chart, are going to show a lot of passion, a lot of intensity just by itself. But we also have intense passion Pluto still in conjunction with these two. So that includes a lot more power, includes some kind of death and rebirth. It might kind of tumble Venus and Mars trying to figure it out. They are in the sign of Aquarius, so unconventional, freedom loving, knowledge based, disclosure, friendly. But all those Aquarian things are in a transformation with Pluto there. Now, these three, so we talked about Venus and Mars, both conjunction and also parallel. And I can't stress enough how powerful that is. That's the fireworks. We'll get into delineation a little bit here in a second once I get through with all these powerful alignments. And then we have this Pluto, Venus, and Mars, all three opposing a Leo moon. Leo moon is about 30 degrees off a full moon. So it's a waxing gibbous. And so this is a growing in energy. It's an expansive. It's also Leo, so it's dramatic and it wants to be seen and wants to be heard. The emotions aren't shy. In fact, they're exaggerated and dramatic. And we don't even need the full moon. The full moon will end up being in Virgo, but for now, at this moment, the moon emotions are growing, expanding, and dramatic in Leo. And now, so these are kind of at odds, and I want to point that out because we're going to delineate that as well. It's an important feature. And then we've got a T-square, as you can see, on Jupiter. And Jupiter just makes it very expansive, but it's squared. So it's trapped in this desire for expansion, for luck and fortune, higher knowledge, long-term travel. And so this puts a lot of pressure for optimism out to actually both sides, and these two at odds. So T-square makes it much more pressurized. We have the Venus and Mars extremely intense, as you can see, in the last few days of fixed air. So what does it all mean? Well, in one regard, we could be looking at Mars' rebellious spirit actually joining forces with social graces of Venus. But why? And what happens when they get together? It's kind of like the ching metal on metal, and we've got sparks flying towards Aquarius type of things. So revolution, duo storms the gate of convention, and very Aquarian style, toppling obstacles to progressive change with passionate fervor. Passion is a great word for Venus and Mars together. Where Mars agitates, Venus soothes, a potent pairing for dismantling structures that no longer serve. And that's without the Pluto. When we add Pluto, we really have a dismantling structures that no longer serve. So that's a big foot stomper part right there. And then once we get in another kind of more summarized version, is what I have written here. When Venus and Mars collide, sparks fly far and wide. No rhyme intended. But this time they are also intensified at the same inclination vertically. This double combo will make it an electric spark in the revolutionary Aquarian paradigm. It's the grand finale of fireworks before water dominates and the Virgo full moon takes over all the astrological headlines. But don't dismiss small but powerful Pluto, because he too is a part of the solidarity trio that will supercharge a huge movement towards resisting unjust forces that would otherwise divide and conquer humanity. Setting us free. There's the picture, right? This is what that symbolizes. The sparks representing Mars and Venus together. The sun is in Pisces, and so we have an element of water. We're on the water, kind of watching the freedom happening, if you will. Just like history. So, very dramatic emotions with Moon and Leo opposing this trio, the Pluto, Mars, and Venus, making the revolution go underground and possibly unseen altogether. That's not an anti-Aquarian thing. It's not like with the sun in detriment in Aquarius. I'm not saying that's happening right now, but the sun is detriment in Aquarius because it doesn't want to be seen. It's not eager to be out there and have the limelight on them. And then the T-square on Jupiter give both of these opposing influences a jester's challenge to expand their respective forces. Our short Aquarian dominance is about over, but what a powerful conclusion. Bam, bam. On the 22nd of February, people might be feeling things like unexpected sparks of friendships or groups. The unexpected is the part there. Unconventional partnerships might form, desires for social reform. We've already seen them, but they intensify. Challenging established relationships could be a possibility because of that Aquarian sort of unexpectedness and technological innovations. There's the other side of Aquarius, which is technology, revolutions in innovation. So there's a lot here and really only a couple of days to feel this because it all shifts after that. That'll probably be our next episode, is when that next shift happens. But for now, it's Mars and Venus in Aquarius on 22 February at 1:11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and we will see you in the next episode. Thanks, everybody.